I'm Dr. Sandeep Paul Chaudhary, and before we really start with the session, let me just tell you a brief about OBS. I'm first of all thankful to Ramakrishna Mission. I'm been associated with the organization for a few months now, and I'm very happy to be here. Actually, presenting uh, one of the initial presentations that we are actually having on the platform Zoho, and we're very happy to be associated with all of you. And I hope that all of you can take something from here. The aim of OBS basically is not really teaching you the software, but in order to appreciate the effectiveness that OBS usually has when we talk about teaching. So after you basically have learned the basic idea today, whatever we are going to do, we are going to keep it short. But once you have a very basic idea, you are definitely going to uh, get the help of using it more professionally. You are able to create more professional videos. So having said professional, I definitely like to show you one of the videos that actually I have made, but that is not via OBS. Let's just have a look at the video first to appreciate that, yes, this might be interesting, okay? And then probably we can actually shift, okay? So what I will do is I will just share this video with you. And this is me. This is not self-promotion. I'll just reduce the volume probably. So if I just mute the video, this video is basically all about why we are interested in learning physics and so on. And we're doing this because we want to do this in a simpler way. The software that has been used to actually do this presentation is um, Adobe Premiere Pro, which is actually a paid version, which is a paid software, and then obviously that's a bit difficult, right? We are obviously we're not looking for that. OBS is a free software, and this is the kind of content that can also be created using OBS. So basically, what happens is I'm saying some topic, and then basically I'm trying to show some videos. Here I'm talking about Nobel Prize and doing that. Okay, not in any way self-promotion. Okay, please don't consider that as a self-promotion. I'm just giving you a basic idea what exactly we can do with OBS. So we will start with this presentation. I'm also going to give you a hands-on training on the OBS software. But really, before we start, let's just have a basic idea. So let me just share one presentation with you. Okay. So I think I'll share that. So usually what happens is when we are anyway looking for a software, one of the initial thing is that I should be able to install it easily. More or less, this should be available free of cost. Okay. And the third part is, of course, playing around with the software to know it much better. Very fortunate to actually present this on 5th of September 2020 on a Teacher's Day and teaching something to you all. So I'm very fortunate with that. Thanks again to goes to Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Cultural Centre at Shillong. You might be listening to us from different parts of the country, as I've seen in the registration. But rest assured, the reach of Ramakrishna Mission or Vivekananda Cultural Centre Shillong is throughout the world. In fact, okay, you can do any of the courses on all, anything it can be done online. Okay, we're also planning to actually conduct regular workshops and webinars. And I'm Dr. Sandeep Paul Chaudhary. I'm a faculty and I have done my PhD in physics. But I'm very much interested in producing online content. In fact, recently I've started with my online classes. I've previously taken it for MSc classes and everything was online, and I used to record my lectures and put it on YouTube. And then you can find my lectures on these channels. But let's proceed with what is OBS is all about. So what we are going to discuss briefly is what is OBS Studio and what are its benefits. Okay. So initially I have taken a poll. I think the poll is still open. Okay. You can still vote in. But we want to just proceed with this is what is OBS Studio, what are its benefits, and definitely if you're using a system, what kind of system requirement will be needed, and what are the devices required, and of course I can give you some suggestions on that, and of course the website to download the app and installation. So the introduction to the interface will be something which is more or less practical, but before that we will finish this part, and we are going to do very fast. I've already shared some content. So one of the best feature or one of the most favorite feature that I have with OBS, it's free. Okay, all of you might have seen this still from the movie Three Idiots. So this is free, and OBS usually stands for Open Broadcaster Software. So you basically can record your lectures and presentations. Okay, or you can actually do live presentation, live streaming. Everything can be done using OBS software. So we are just going to look into what are the basics. So what are the systems that you have? Any kind of system, actually it is supported. You cannot use it in your mobile phone, you definitely need a laptop. And anyway, we are actually planning to create quality content as teachers. So definitely we need a bigger screen to look into all the features and to look zoom into the things which we actually need to correct and so on. Right? I don't think it's a good idea to do it on mobile, but Android version is not there. We have Windows, we have a Mac system, we have a version for that, and of course Linux. So OBS is basically an open source software. That means if you are into coding and all, you can definitely go for it and try to even modify some of the features. So what are the important features that it offers? Like, I'm trying to make you understand that we need to appreciate the fact that it has got a lot of features. We just need to exploit it in a proper way. So it does capture your real-time audio video, okay, and of course the mixing part can be done. You can set up unlimited number of scenes, and you can switch between seamlessly via custom transition. So more or less, if you are actually into an OBS studio, use of OBS studio, and if you're looking into the features, you will more or less feel like probably a director. Okay, you can actually direct those. You can have your scenes ready, and then you can make it go one after the other. Okay, and then you can do all that kind of arrangement. So you can have different scenes. For example, let's say I am having a presentation and I have got two cameras fitted with my system and I've connected it with OBS. So I'm taking an interview. So when the other one person speaks, the host speaks, his image would be there. And then when the other person speaks, the person who for whom the interview is being conducted, that person speaks, the camera can be switched on, and that can be done seamlessly without any kind of editing within the software. So that's one of the biggest benefit. You really don't need to do any kind of after editing if you plan it properly. And then of course you have got streamlined setting panels. It's not very difficult, very complicated. We just need to learn this. Live streaming is something which is an advanced feature, which probably we won't cover it today because we don't have that much of time. But definitely for live streaming, you can have a recording, or you can actually go on with your presentation and you can live stream out on YouTube and all, so that your other viewers can also watch it. Because if you're using something like Zoom and all, the number of viewers are definitely restricted. So system requirement, as I said, you can use it in Windows, Linux, or a Mac system. But then what kind of processor and all is actually suitable for this? If you have a i5 processor or an AMD FX series, that is more or less compatible, works perfectly fine. We do have a DirectX compatibility issue. Sometimes it does happen. There's a hardware compatibility issue. But if DirectX is installed and you have got a system integrated graphics card, that usually works fine. You need to have at least 4 GB of RAM. But let me tell you, I have tried it with a 3 GB RAM system and a Celeron system. It still works, but it doesn't do a very good performance for high-end editing or high-end recording. Okay, so that is important. So what are the devices you need? Actually, you need only a laptop or a desktop with a good configuration, as mentioned. You really don't need any other extra additional things, but definitely you can enhance and make it more, the quality can definitely be improved by using a more advanced hardware. So you can definitely you can use a microphone. That needs to be a unidirectional microphone. You can purchase a Boya microphone from any of the online sites. It will cost you around 1100 to 1500 rupees. That is actually a good idea, because when you create a content, your voice is also very important. How audible you are, that also plays a very important role. Apart from that, you can also have a digital input device. So we being teachers, okay, some of you are teachers, many of you are teachers, hopefully all of you are teachers here, because today is a teachers day. Once again, I'd like to wish everyone a very happy teachers day. Let's not deviate from the topic. Okay, so what happens is, basically, if you basically use a digital input device, that is also optional. You can actually use something which we call as a digital pen, let's say. Okay, so Wacom is one of the company which is prominent. It will cost you around 3000 to 4000 bucks. That's the cheapest one. You can go for higher end, and then that can be used as an on-screen pen to teach your students, but then that needs a bit of practice. And definitely a webcam. As you can see, my camera quality is not good because I'm using a laptop camera. Okay, so you can definitely use a webcam. You can purchase a C170 camera of Logitech, costs you around 1600 to 700 1700 bucks. Nowadays it's out of stock, but then it will be available soon. Okay, so we need to now install it. Okay, so we need to install our software. So when you basically go for installing the software, it will be around 70 MB. Okay, as you can see, it's a 70 MB software. Okay, and before we really proceed with the next part of the presentation, let me just go with this website that basically you're going to use to download the software. Completely legal, no issues. Okay, everything is perfectly fine. So let's just try to download the software. Okay, so if we just go to, let me just go to one of the screens. Okay. Okay, so if you basically type OBS Studio in Google, okay, sorry. So if you usually type OBS Studio in Google, okay, what happens is you get the first site which actually can give you the uh, website for downloading it. Okay, so if I go to this, I have this. Okay, most of the steels which I've used in my presentation are taken from here. Okay, and you can actually download the installer. So if you download the installer, it will be around 70 MB, and then you can go for the installation. Now, assuming that some of us, okay, it might be definitely a case that some of us are not really sure how to go with the installation. What we can do is we can actually go for this installation process. So I'll just share you the installation process. This is a very small file, okay. So this is a very small file, and exactly how do you install it? Let me just take you through, okay, this installation process. So once you install it, okay, you basically have the software here, and then you can just double click on it. Okay, this is a recorded version. I've just made it fast so that we can take time. And then basically these are the screens that usually coming, and then you can actually select your default folder and then go on with installation. Now this part actually takes some time, and after installation this is something which you will see. And then you can see that you need to launch your OBS Studio, and then you can click finish. So once you click finish, the OBS Studio usually launches, and then it goes along with some initial setup that you need to do. So this is the version this is actually an old version. The OBS Studio keeps on updating, so you can always have the updated version because it's again free. So we have the option of update now, remind me later, or skip the version. So we can obviously go for remind me later. Okay, and then what happens is I can always keep it the same default setting. Okay, so it says that would you like to run the auto configuration wizard? So basically, it configures your video, audio, and so on. You can keep it yes, or you can take it yes, or you can consider no, because if you want to save time, or you can just keep it as default. Don't worry, you can always change it at the later end. Okay. Now this is very important. You see, you have this two options here: optimize for streaming or recording is secondary, and then optimize just for recording, and I will not be streaming. Please remember that whenever you are actually streaming, okay, what happens is that you need a better bandwidth. You need to be in a good internet connection zone, which might not be always possible. But if you are recording, you actually don't need any kind of internet connection. Okay, so if you don't need any internet connection and if you are having problem with that, definitely you should go for only the recording option. Streaming might be a specialized case, and we can talk about it in some other lecture. And then you can actually do this setup. We basically can do the resolution part and FPS. Okay, so having said FPS, what is FPS? FPS basically is nothing but known as frames per second. So if you consider a 1 second video, and if you have 30 frames, it is usually considered standard, and you will basically look into a very smooth video without any jittery behavior. But on the other hand, if you are considering, let's say, 15 FPS, okay, 15 frames per second, basically it's a bit jittery. So it's preferable you keep it as 30. You can definitely change that setup later. It's very simple, okay. And then we can actually go with this, and then we can say okay, and then we have got the final done. So this is how the installation is done, okay. And then before I proceed with this, we can actually go with the presentation again, okay. So I'll just look into this presentation. Okay, so yeah, okay, so I'll share my entire screen rather. Very easy. Okay, so if we actually look into the next part of OBS, so it's just a 70 MB file, and I don't need to do much of an installation issue, right? So I've already installed it, and then I'll just show you the interface here. Okay, I'm definitely going to show you the software I've already installed. So this is a 70 MB file. After you download and install, whatever I've shown is there. And then this is the interface that you are actually seeing. Okay, OBS interface is not written, it's just something which I have written there. So this is basically the video viewing area you have, okay? And I'm going to show you the other parts of this. So the other part is basically this. This is nothing but your configuration, save, etc. All the options are available there. We are just going to focus on some of the important things that we should actually know about OBS. Okay, that's all. And then of course this is the scene area. So I'll show you what exactly is meant by scene and how do we add it and how do we use it. And definitely we have got the sources area. Okay. And then I can do all kind of setup. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to do the setup. Okay. But before I really do the setup, I need to know three things. First is how do we actually use a PowerPoint presentation using OBS? You cannot simply use a presentation and do it. You have to use PowerPoint read mode. We are going to look into that. And we are also going to look into capturing Chrome. Okay, so if you are using a browser and you want to actually have the setup, you can actually use the Chrome setup, and that setup needs to be changed. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so I think that is enough of the theory part. Okay, let's go actually to the experimental part. It is actually something which we all are here for. So I'll just switch off my camera because I want to save the bandwidth. Okay, and then I think we can proceed with it. Okay, so before I really proceed with it, okay, someone said I'm not audible. Am I audible now? See, you need to be in a better internet zone, I guess. Okay, okay, am I audible now? If you can just make yourself unmute and then tell me, or you can just type in there. Okay, yeah, okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so if I'm audible, then I think you already have one of the questions, one of the polls. Okay, let me just share the result with you. And okay, we have around 11 votes there. That's good. Okay, so result is shown to everyone. So 7 of you have already heard about OBS, 5 of you have not heard about OBS. Okay, and we will go to the next part. Okay, so I've got a very simple question now. That have you if you have already heard about OBS, then some of you might have already used it. Okay, so might be I can start that poll. Okay, and then we can have a very fast voting. Okay, so by the time I set up this OBS, you can definitely vote in here. Okay, so let's see that how many answers we have there, and then I will of course share the result. Okay, so try to be as interactive as possible. Let's keep things simple. Okay, and by the time you can answer, we can actually, I can share my screen. Okay, so I'll share my screen. I think I need to share my entire screen better because I can show you the folder that I usually have and then I'm using. Okay, so I have my screen here and then I will actually go with the OBS Studio. Okay, and then this is more or less done. And then, okay, let me hide my stop sharing option. And then before I really proceed, let's just have a look at the voting results. Okay, so I just wanted to keep it a bit interactive, and that's the reason that I've done. Okay, so have you used OBS? So let's look into the votes. We have 17 votes there. 4 of you have already used, 13 of you have not used. So I think for 4 of you who've already used, might be there will be something additional. If not additional, it probably is a practice. And for 13 of you probably it will be beneficial. Okay, so then this is the result that we have. Okay, so we can actually have it here. Okay, so that means that I am more or less happy that I'm able to teach it 14 of you, and for 4 of you at least I'm able to, might be I'd be able to add something extra. Okay, so let's go with the presentation now, and then let's start with the use of OBS Studio. Okay, so before I really go into this idea of using OBS Studio, let me just give you a brief of the different parts that are there. So we have a file here, okay, and then you basically see that it can actually show your recording and then settings and so on. Okay, I'm not really going to these things. I'm just going to straight away go with settings. So you have a setting here and you also have a setting in the file option. So if I click on settings, this is the first option that I should look for, so that I'm sure that what are the setup that are more important in OBS. Okay, so just let's do a quick run on this. So we need the keep the language as English. Okay, you basically have other options, but we'll keep it as English. And the theme can be dark or light. Okay, so we have it, but let's keep it dark. Not important for this class. And then we can always do the automatically check for updates on startup. This is a good option because new OBS will always give you better features, better stability, and so on. Okay, and then other things we are not really going to change since we are short of time, so I cannot go through each and every one of them. I'll just go to the important part. Stream. Now stream is something, let me just, since I'm here, let me just tell you about a bit about stream. A stream, when we talk about, we can stream or live stream your lectures, okay, or presentation or meetings via OBS to YouTube, Twitch, okay, Facebook, Restream, Twitter, and so on. So Twitch is something which is more popular towards the West. Here we are more into YouTube, so probably we can do it YouTube or Facebook. So whenever you are actually having a YouTube channel, as I have a YouTube channel, you also might have a YouTube channel. You basically, when you go for uploading a video, you have the option of either uploading a video or going live. So when you go for live option, you have the option of stream. So when you do the setup there, you basically get a stream key. So when you have that stream key, you can actually take that stream key from YouTube, put it there, and then you can use this stream key actually to live stream from OBS. Okay, so it's as simple as that. But that is not the focus, so we'll really not concentrate on this. Okay, let's go to output now. So the output is first is for streaming and the second one is for recording. So just a simple suggestion, if you're going for streaming, the speed that you should maintain minimum is nothing but 2500 kbps. You go below that, your streaming will be jittery. So if your internet connection, if you don't have a good internet connection, I suggest you don't go for streaming. What is a good internet connection? Well, 10 mbps should work. I am using a 2 mbps now, so I cannot use that internet connection for. It's not a good idea. 5 mbps is suggested theoretically, but I guess 10 mbps should work fine. Okay, so we're not going into this. Let's go directly here, recording part. So I can save recording part. So I've put it in videos. Okay, I can do that, and then I can go for recording quality. So look into the recording quality. This is very important. Why? Because see, if you're recording your video lectures, suppose you're preparing for your classes and you're recording your video lectures and you're doing it on a daily basis, you are going to use a lot of hard drive space. That is going to be a humongous task for your system, because if you don't have space, it creates a lot of problem. So what is suggested? So what I will suggest is, first thing is same as stream, then don't do that. Stream basically goes for a higher end, so we are not going to do it. Let's go at the other end. Okay, so what we can do is we can either go for a lossless quality. So lossless quality usually will be a huge file. See, it generates tremendously large file. Lossless quality can be upwards of 7 gigabytes of disk space per minute. So 1 minute would be 7 GB. Don't need that, right? So it's too much of space. So what I suggest is you can actually go for high quality medium file size. That is the best option. Or you can go for indistinguishable if you have too much space, but preferably high quality is fine. Even if you are taking a class on a board and you're fixing a camera and recording it with OBS, at high quality, it records totally fine. Basically, whatever alphabets or words you're writing, whatever you're writing on your board doesn't get pixelated. But when you are doing a PowerPoint presentation, a quality, even if it's not high, still it's visible. Okay, it's quite clear. So I think that is all more or less fine. Recording format, I'll suggest always keep it as MP4, because what happens usually is most of these media or online platform, be it sharing it on Google Drive with your students, putting it on MP4 file on WhatsApp, or uploading it on YouTube. Everywhere MP4 support is there. This is more or less one of the most common things. Okay, okay. So it is as common as COVID nowadays. So this is good MP4. You have some other version like TS and M3UB, but this is not actually supported by all the platforms. So better use only MP4, and then you can use a hardware encoder. Okay, it is good. Actually, this will actually tally with whatever hard drive, or sorry, whatever motherboard you are using. Okay, so all those things are set. So this is done. Next, let's go to the audio quality. Audio quality is definitely good when we take it for 44.1 kilohertz. It's totally fine. We'll definitely use a stereo mode, because what happens in a mono mode, the sound is very dull. Okay, you're just having a two speaker system. Basically, you are actually having only a mono sound out. So its stereo is good. But if you are, say, suppose you are shooting a movie and you are actually going to release it in a movie theater, and the movie theater has an option of Dolby Digital Sound 5.1, 7.1 surround sound, you can definitely go for 5.1, 7.1. But definitely for our purpose, we'll just keep it to stereo. Okay, good listening on the headphone and a good voice output from the speakers of your mobile phone. Perfectly fine stereo. Now the devices, desktop audio. Now this can be changed in the scenes also. We'll do it later. But here what happens is desktop audio will be your default, and then you can use a secondary device. You can have an extended screen, that audio can be used, and that is not desktop audio too. So I can use it. Okay, I don't have anything connected right now, so we don't have that option. Mic, default mic you can use, or you can use an additional mic. So what I do usually is suppose, let's say, there are two speakers, and then I am one of the speakers. Which mic I will use? I use the laptop mic. Now I don't have a second mic, because what happens if I am connecting my headphone to my laptop, I cannot have a secondary mic. That the mic which is used by the system, that is actually transferred to your headphone. So I cannot use it that way. Okay, that becomes a bit complicated. So what I do is I usually use a software which is called DroidCam. You can install it in your mobile, and you can install the Windows or the Linux client, okay, in your laptop or desktop, and then you can use the mic of your mobile phone as the secondary mic. So you might be talking to someone and you can fit the camera to that person, and when that person speaks, the voice is taken up by the mic of your mobile phone and not by your laptop. So this way both the things are separated, there is no confusion, and you get crystal clear quality. So you can get a default mic, and you can consider the secondary mic as the duet cam mic. That is always possible. Okay, and then other settings, let it remain as it is. Okay, and then let's go to the video, and you can look into this. What is the base resolution? So when you record, what will be the resolution? This is something which can be set up from here. Okay, we can definitely do it from here. Okay, and what I'll suggest is you can keep it as 1280, and then output is nothing but the output's resolution. Okay, now this resolution can be fixed at different points. Okay, so what I'll suggest is initially you can just keep it at 1024 into 576. That is usually fine. Okay, doesn't hamper your quality much. Okay, you can keep it at that particular point. We can definitely reduce the quality even after recording also. There is a software which I'll just tell you, I'll guide you on this. And then we actually have something which is called FPS value, so frames per second, and we are not going to change it. We are going to keep it at 30 frames per second. Okay, so so we are going to keep it at 30 frames per second. Okay, and then okay, there is some question there. Okay, can I see that? Okay, well, that was an old question. Can we use it in smartphone? The answer is for now no. Okay, but we all need that. We have bigger screens now. I think probably at some point of time they will definitely take it out. Hotkeys is something which is a shortcut key. We are not using any shortcut key for now, but you can definitely use it. Okay, I can, let's say, for starting or stopping the recording, I use Control Z. So I can just press Control and I can press Z. So this Control Z gets recorded. I can press apply and that will work. But I'm not using it. I'll just prefer using my mouse for now. Okay. So I think okay. Sorry, I have to delete it. I don't use backspace here. Okay. So this is there. So hotkey I'm not going to use, and then we can go for advanced. But in advanced, we are not going to do any kind of changes. If you have got additional graphics card, it will show up here. You can actually use it. Okay. And then you can definitely go for other options. But I think everything can be left at default. Okay. That is totally fine. So this is what is setting is all about, and then we can just go for apply. Okay, just to make sure things are okay, and then we can just press OK. So this is perfectly the setup that should be done when we basically begin with the OBS Studio. We're not going to go into more complications here, and I'm just going to show you different options here. So suppose you are in a lab and different people are using your system. You are not the only one who is using the system. What you can do is you can actually go for profile and you can create a profile. Okay, so you can create a profile for your own, because what happens, the scene that you create gets stored. I'm going to show you that scene. So I can create a profile, let's say Sandeep, and create this profile, and I'll press OK. Then whatever setting or whatever setup I'm basically doing in OBS Studio gets saved under my profile. So it is already there, Sandeep. So someone else might be using the same system. He can create another profile and then save it. So that is possible. Okay, so you can use multiple users in the same system. So I have my scene. Okay, but before I do any kind of scene, basically I have to add some content, which is very important. Okay, so how do I exactly add the content? Uh, Let me say I want to present this. Let's say I want to show this. Okay, I want to show this particular screen. Download OBS Studio. I want to record this particular screen. So this is the very basic thing that I'm going to do at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for plus. Okay, so if you click this plus, you can add different options here. So let's see what are the options that I have. The first option is audio input capture, audio output capture. Third is the browser. So what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to add the browser. So what I'll do, so you can just look into it step by step. Definitely we are recording it and we'll put it online, so you can look into it later also. So being a Saturday evening, tomorrow is a Sunday, probably all of us are a bit lethargic to actually go on with doing it practically. That's why I'm here. So I'll just do it, we'll record it, we'll put it up. Okay. So I want to record a browser. Okay. So maybe I am a physics teacher and I want to show some kind of animation. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go for browser. Okay. And then I will go for a virtual lab class. So I'll name it. Okay. Why I name it? Because I want to categorize this very clearly. So let's say I want to put something like VLab. So I'll put VLab. Okay, there is a website VLab supported by IITs. which basically has this. Okay, so then you want to actually have a local file, a URL. Okay, so what you can do is you can put this vlab.co.in, vlab.co.in. Okay, but since this is something which I don't prefer, what is the other option that we have? So what happens is this will actually search for vlab.co.in, it's available, and then directly it will go there. Okay, but I'm not going to use this. So what I'm going to do now is something else. Okay, so this is something which you can do, this is an option, but I suggest don't use this option. Why? Because I'll just show you now. So I'll just remove this, and then I will go for again, and then I will go for something which is called the where is it, window capture. Okay, so I'll go for window capture. This is a better option, and I'll go for window capture, and again I can write down VLab window. Okay, so I can just simply write down VLab window, so I can put an OK there, and then okay, I know I'm a bit fast, but let's just do it. Okay, anyway, so I'm doing this Chrome. Okay, so I have capturing this Chrome window. Whenever you are going to record any kind of window, it's important that that should be maximized. So this is maximized, so this is there, so I'll put an OK. Now I can record this. I've not yet started the recording. Now what you can see is that there is a small black lining there. I want to remove this because I want to make it look as professional as possible. It's very simple. You can just right click on top of this, you can go for transform. Okay, and then sorry, my system is a bit slow. So when you click on transform, basically it will show you different options there, and then you can actually do the full screen setup. Okay, so okay, let's just wait for this. Okay, so I just like to tell you that I'm actually using a Celeron processor for now. Okay, because of this pandemic scenario, I forgot my laptop in my workplace. So I'm using an old laptop, so that is always an issue. So I hope that this doesn't ditch me. Okay, well, my laptop doesn't ditch me. Very important. Okay, so we have this transformed option. So when we go for this, we can actually go for stretch to screen, fit to screen, and so on. Okay, so if you go for fit to screen, see that the black area will be up and down. It is more or less equally shared. We can actually go for stretch to screen, and that is also there. Okay, so if you go for stretch to screen, it will more or less fit in there. Now, suppose you are a presenter and you want to brand your product. Okay, so you want to brand your product. So what you can do is you can use a logo. So can I use a logo somewhere here so that I can use it effectively? Okay. Okay. So just let's wait. The system is hanging a bit. So if we actually use a logo, we can actually always design a logo. Not going to go to designing a logo, but we can actually design a logo by using something which we call as Canva. Okay, Canva.com. We can go there, and then we can definitely design our logo. Okay. So we have this. Okay, and just be with me. Okay. Okay, so probably I won't show any kind of recording here, okay, but I can basically show you the use of this, okay. So can do is, so I want to add a logo now. How do I add a logo? What I can do is I can add on plus, and then I can go for image, okay. So please bear with me. So we do have a video capturing device in our Zoho that we are using. At the same time, we are using this OBS. That's why that's the only reason why this is actually getting a bit slow. So what happens is usually I can actually go for image now, and then I can actually use my logo there. Okay. I have a backup system. I think I can use that. So we do have a create source option. Okay. And then what happens is this. Okay. Use this backup system. So when I go for OK, what happens is I can actually browse for the image, and let's see if I have an image. I think I do have a logo there. Okay. So I'll go for my USB drive. I think I have a logo. So depending on your internet connection, the speed might also vary a bit. Okay, so I do have the RKM logo, so I think I can use it now. Okay, so I take this and then I just put an OK there. So once I put an OK, see this RKM logo is here. So if I'm very much like for me, my channel name is Waves Physics Lecture, and I'm always using a logo there because I'm more or less very much brand conscious. So what you can do is you can have your logo as a watermark also. That is also possible, or else you can just have it normally somewhere placed, just like a professional place at some corner. So we'll take that, and then what we will do is we will actually go for some settings with the image here. Okay, just wait, let me just check with my other system because this system is really hanging a lot. Yeah. Can you just all give me 2 minutes? Okay, I'll just do the setup and then I'll just go back to this. Just give me 2 minutes. So I'll just stop the sharing part here. Okay, so I think this system should give me a better thing, but I don't have much backup here. But we'll use this. Okay, so let me just redo what exactly I've done right now. What I will do is I will go for scenes. Okay, so I've shared my entire screen. Okay, let me just look into it again. Okay, so is I will I hope it's visible now. Okay, so we'll go for this. We will actually go for let's just redo this window capture, and then I will go for VLab. Okay, and then I will go for OK, and then I'm going to go for Google Chrome. Now you see the Google Chrome is not maximized, as a result of which I'm not able to see it here. But what I will do is I'll maximize my Google Chrome and I'll go to some other window. Might be to this particular window. Okay, let me close the Gmail right now. I'll go to this particular window and let's see if it's visible here, and you more or less should be able to see it. Okay, so this is okay, this is fine. So I'll just put an OK there, and this is my web. And then what I do is I want to put my logo, but before putting my logo, okay, I'll just post that video. Okay, so I'm going to use my logo right now. I'm going to maximize this so that I know the space exactly. Okay, so I hope this is clear till now. We are just adding a browser, and then we are going to go here. We are going to for transform, and let's say we've put stretch to screen, so the entire screen gets covered. So the entire screen gets covered, and now we are going to use the logo. So we are going to go here. We are going to go for an image, okay, and then let me just write down logo here. It's always a good practice to level out everything. And then I'll just put the logo and then I'll browse for my logo. Okay. So I think in this system I've kept it in my desktop. So I'll just go to my desktop and find it out. Okay. So yeah, it's here. OBS. Okay. So I have my logo here. So I'll just use that logo. So I'll use the RKM logo. And what I'm interested in is actually to make the logo better. So I can transparency feature. So this logo is too big. If I want to put it at the center, I can directly go here, right click, go to transform and go for fit center vertically or center to screen. So if I click this, it directly comes to the center and it is very much practical to use it, right? But anyway, we'll keep it at the end and then we are going to reduce it. Okay. We are going to reduce. So we're just going to hold the crossbar and we're going to go here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to change some features of this logo because I want to make this logo transparent. So I'm going to click on top. Okay. And then I can actually right click on this logo and then go for filters. So this filter will actually have a lot of property with it. Okay. We can definitely use it. And okay, let's just connect my mouse here. So if I go for filter, what happens is, so this is the property, sorry, to go for the filters, I'll go for logo and I'll go for filters. So once I go for filters, you see what happens here sometimes is you are unable to see at the bottom. It depends on what is the resolution of your screen and so on. And usually it doesn't work. So let me just hide my this taskbar. Okay. So I'll just go for taskbar settings. Okay. And then hide my taskbar so that it's easy for me. Okay. I'll just do that. Okay. So automatically hide the taskbar. I'll just do that. I think this is easy. Okay, so close it down now. Yeah. So now I think it's visible. Okay. So when we hide the taskbar, you can see this is there and this is my logo and then I'm going to add a feature to it. So what I'll do is I'll just click plus. Okay. And then I will go for, let's say, color key. Okay. I can go for color key. Okay. And then if I go for color key, I can just keep the name as it is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then here I can actually adjust the transparency. You see, this is the opacity which is there and I want to make it a bit transparent, so I can reduce it like this and then just close it down. So you see my logo more or less become transparent now. So for me, as being a brand conscious person, I usually prefer to keep it with the logo. Okay, it's very important for me. I don't know, you might also feel the same, but let me just tell you, I do it usually. So we have this. Now I want to record it. Okay, now I want to record it. So what I'll do is I will go to this. Okay, and for those of you, if any one of you are in physics, let me just introduce you to this website. I was actually recently asked for a presentation on this, but I think some of you might already know it. Okay, so this is basically nothing but a virtual lab where you can actually do practicals online. But let me tell you, it is not very well developed, still in the developing stages. So if I'm from physics, what I'm doing is I'm going for physical sciences, and then I can go for optics and start doing recording. So I'll go here, and then I'll go for, let's say, I love optics. Okay, I'm usually doing optics lab. Okay, so I'll take optics here, and then I'll go for virtual lab, and then suppose I want to find out the angle of prism, I'll go here. Okay, and then I want to explain to my students this particular presentation. So I won't go for animation, I'll go for simulator. So I'll just simulate this experiment. These tools are already there on the net. So if you're teaching any of the topic, okay, definitely you're going to get that material online. Okay, so it should be there. Okay, anyway. So suppose I want to record this. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my OBS studio, and then you see this is already there on the screen, and I want to start recording. So for recording, I'm going to go here, start recording. Okay. But let me tell you something very important. For some of you who will actually be initially setting up your OBS, it might not work. What you will see is on the screen, everything will be blank. It will be dark. Okay. And this is something which you don't want. So what you want is you should be able to see the Chrome browser. For that, there is a very simple setup, which I suggest all of you should know. Okay. I hope I remember it because I've done the setup long back. But anyway, we'll go for this. Okay. So you have to go to Chrome and then you have to go for settings. Okay, and please remember, when you do this setting, this is similar more or less to any browser, opera, meaning opera you are using, or internet explorer, whatever. You go for advanced option. Okay, and then you can go for system. When you go for system, you see this: use hardware acceleration when available. Now, if this particular button is off, your Chrome won't be visible in OBS most of the times. This should be on. Use hardware acceleration. That is very important. So this is one of the most important tip I'd like to give you, because people usually get frustrated when it doesn't work and they say that, okay, OBS might not work. Okay, but that is not the case. Definitely it will work, but then you have to make this setup right. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so let me just okay, by the way, I'm presenting and I'm not able to read your comments, so I think I can able to. Okay, okay, so I think there are no doubts, so that's okay. Let's continue. So then we have this, and then I will start my recording. So what I will do is I'll go to my virtual lab. I'll go to this lab, okay, and then I will click here. Somehow this is not working. As I told you, this is not a full-fledged system. Okay, I'll go for here. Okay, it's here. Click here for the simulator. So the simulator starts, and I want to start recording this particular simulation. Where do I start? I'll go for here. So I'm not going to stream it. I'm going to record it. So I'll go for start recording. So we're going to start recording. So we will go for start. So as soon as I go for start recording, this starts recording. Okay, so I'm recording it, and the beauty is I am in the OBS screen. OBS screen is not getting recorded. What is getting recorded? Only that particular browser. Okay, usually when I'm doing any kind of recording with some normal software, it usually records the entire thing. Okay, it is only with the OBS that we are actually recording only the browser. So I'm recording the browser here, and I want to focus the telescope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm teaching a student, so I usually focus the telescope. As soon as they focus, I can start the experiment. So I can start the experiment. Okay, and then I will actually explain to my students, okay, this is a spectrometer and all those things. Okay, anyway, when it comes, and then basically you can do. So whatever you have it on the browser, you can do it. So I can show the experiment, explain them least count, explain them Vernier readings and so on. Okay, and about spectrometer and so on. So once everything is done, okay, suppose I have done everything and I want to stop the recording, I can go back to OBS and do the stop recording. So as soon as I go for stop recording, you see I don't have anything else now. I basically can go to file and go for show recording. So let's see what has been recorded exactly. You see in between I have done a lot of things. Okay, I have gone to OBS, I have gone to another screen, but nothing actually gets recorded. Only the thing that is being recorded is nothing but what is there on the OBS. Okay, so okay, there are a lot of videos here. Let's see which one is there. Okay, so this should be the one. Okay, I have kept it at MKV, I guess, so that's why it recorded in MKV. Okay, so anyway, so we can just try and let's see which okay, so we can open it with Windows Media Player, no issues. So once we open this, we can actually see what exactly has been recorded, and this is the recording that we are more or less going to see. Okay, and this is something which we can always use to share or give it to our students. Okay, okay, let's, yeah, so I think you can listen to this. So this is exactly what gets recorded here. Okay, so you can see at the end I went to the OBS studio to stop it, but nothing is shown there. Okay, so it got stopped. Okay, so nothing, no mention of OBS there. Okay, looks very professional. I don't have to do any kind of after editing. I don't have to cancel out. Okay, so that everything becomes very simple. One more trick I'd like to tell you, some of you might face. If some of you have worked with Photoshop, this actually works like a layer. So if the logo is below the VLAN, you see the logo is invisible. You cannot see it. So it's very important, whatever you want to show should be on the top. Okay, very important, but logo should always be there in general, so you can keep it this way. So this is what is this is all about. Okay, so now suppose I'm doing a presentation, I want to show the students something on the browser, and next I want to take them to a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so can we do that? That can be done using the option of scene. Okay, so let's go for scene now. So I have one scene, and a scene, you cannot have zero scene. One scene will always be there by default, and you can add the content. So I've added a web page and I've added a logo there. Okay, let me create another scene and I'll put a plus there and I'll take scene 2. Okay, no problem, and I'll keep it as scene 2. So this is a new scene altogether, and everything is getting recorded in your own profile. So this is scene 2, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a PowerPoint presentation. So for that, very important is you should have your PowerPoint presentation open, then only you can do it. Okay, so let me open the PowerPoint presentation now. Which one should I open? I think whatever I presented just now to you. So I can just open that particular PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so we will open that presentation, and then we will try to record it. Okay, so PowerPoint presentation also has got an additional setup that needs to be done before it can be recorded. Very important. And that setup is something which I'm going to tell you. Okay, so usually when you press F5 and start recording, in some systems OBS doesn't support recording your slideshows. So when you record the slideshow, nothing gets recorded. So you have done a lot of labor, you've recorded everything, and later on you see nothing gets recorded. Okay, something which is very dissatisfying for the teachers. There is extra labor in it. So what I do is, for recording the PowerPoint presentation for sure in OBS, you basically go to View when you are in your PowerPoint presentation. This is not available in PowerPoint 2007 and older. It is later, 2010 and later. Okay, you can go for View and then you can go for Reading View. So now you have the reading view. Okay, you have the reading view, and this will be recorded. Okay, so this is already there, this is maximized. Let me just go back to my OBS now. Okay, so if I can go back to my OBS, okay, I'll go and press plus, and then I'll again go for window capture, but this time I'm going to do a PPT. So let me just write down PPT here, let's say. Okay, and I'll put an OK there, and then this is already maximized, so I can automatically select it. So PPT is selected, and I will just go for OK. Okay, so this is a PowerPoint slideshow, and this is OK. So this is there, and then I want to record everything. Okay, and let me just make it again, do the transformation and do it fit to screen or stretch to screen. I like that more. Okay, I want to put a logo, I can do that. That's already fine. Okay, so I've got this PowerPoint presentation. On one scene I have got the recording. Okay, and then let me create one more scene. Okay, and here I'm going to show you some special effects. Now the video that I've shown to you at the beginning, those who join me now can actually see the video in the material already provided. When we actually you saw that I was at the forefront and something was recorded behind my back. How do I do it? Okay, so I can use something which is called the green screen effect or the chroma key. So what I will do is I will import a video here. Okay, so let me just import a video. So I have a video. No, I will do that. Text scene media source. So I'll take a media source here. Okay, and I will take a video here. So let's take a video. Okay, let's press OK, and let me just get that video now. Okay, so if I take this, let's say video playback. Okay, this is an animated video which I've already done. So I'll just put it there, and then this is the animated video, and this is not full screen, so I'll just make it full screen. Okay, you can download your any videos from YouTube. You can use different pages. I think all of you are smart enough to download that. Not very difficult. I'll just stretch to screen, and this is the animation that I have. Now you want to record yourself in front of the video, and that animation should be just behind you, nothing else. Okay, then you should always put a green screen behind you. How does the green screen look like? Something like this. So I have an image. Okay, I'll just take this image. Okay, green screen image. So what I will do is I'll go for browse, and I have this green screen image. This is not a video, this is an image. You can actually have a video with a green screen producing the same effect. Okay, I'm sorry I'm going a bit fast because I think we are already going over time, but we'll just try to finish it. Okay, so I'll go here, and again I will go for transform, and then I will go for stretch to screen. What is the benefit for teachers? Very important, that we can actually use it as an animation. You can sit and record your PowerPoint presentation, and you can sit somewhere at the corner, put a green screen behind you, remove that green screen. Now I want to remove this green screen. How do I do it? I will go for image, I'll right click on it, I'll go for filters, and this is something which is also applicable or available in something like Adobe Premiere Pro and all. You can use the chroma key. So chroma key usually works with any of the consistent colors, but you can always preferable to use a green screen. So you see the key color was green. If I put something else, the green color doesn't go, the blue shades go off. Okay, so I can put green, and I want to let's say I want to fine tune it, so I can just keep on changing it a bit until and unless I'm satisfied. You can play around with this and just close. So once I have this, you see you are there. If it's a video, you will be there speaking, and there will be an animation behind you. So sometimes we do see these newsrooms, news desks, and all that. The reporters are reading the news, and there is some video going on behind them. We might think that that is real, but that might not be true. They might be very well using our OBS studio. So I'll just reduce this size. I can definitely hold the crossbar and basically reduce it, keeping the aspect ratio fine. Okay, I think it's okay. So this is something which I have. Now I want to record it scene by scene, first scene, second scene, third scene, and everything I want to do at one go. How do I do it? Let's go to scene one, and let's go for this studio mode now. I think some of you already noticed this studio mode. So what I will do is I will click on studio mode now. Okay, and then as soon as I click on studio mode, you can see there are two viewing screens here. So this is the screen which is actually getting recorded, and this is the screen which is going to come later. Okay, so you can have the second screen ready, So this is ready, and this is the first screen which is getting recorded. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to record and show you the output. So the first scene I've already done the setup. So this is there. So this is already there. So I'm going to start the recording now. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, let's do it for my students. Okay, so I started the recording. What I will do is I'll go to the browser now, and then let's go to the browser, and then I'm explaining my student, okay, this is a spectrometer, and then you can use it, you can find it and everything, okay, whatever, angle of the prism, refractive index of the prism. And then I want to shift to the next thing. The recording is on, okay, whatever I'm saying is getting recorded. I want to shift to the next screen. So what I will do, I can actually click transition. As soon as I click transition, it goes to this particular screen. This PPT is getting recorded. Let's start the recording again. It's going on, okay, I'm not stopped the recording. So I'll say, okay, we are doing a presentation on Teachers Day. I'm very happy to do it, okay. And then I'm Dr. Sandeep Paul Chaudhary, and then we are doing it, okay. And then I have a, let me promote. I have two channels, My Knowledge Top and Wave Physics Lecture. If you are in physics, please subscribe to that channel. I also have a course on Introductory Cosmology in Udemy. You can subscribe to that also. चलो मेरा promotion हो गया. Good, done. अभी third वाले में जाते हैं. What you will do is you can click on third scene. It's still not there, okay, and I will just pause it for some time. There is something which I'd like to show you at the middle. Okay, this is pause now. See, the video got stopped. Why? Because the video that I used, I did not put it on loop. So what I will do is I can double click here and I can put it on loop. If I put it on loop, even if the video gets over, it will again restart. So it's an animation video. I'll prefer using that. Okay, so there is also an option that video will only play when you're recording, so that option is also there, that is also activated. So I can click it. See, show nothing when playback ends. Okay, so I can use this option, but anyway we're not going to do that, so I just use it in recording. Okay, so let's do it now. So I'll go back to recording. I can start my recording again. So I've shown you how to pause also, and then I can go for transition. So as soon as I go for transition, this is there. So suppose this is me. Okay, okay, I'm not that macho, but that's okay, it's me. Okay, then I'm saying something, and then I'm making it more interactive and so on. Okay, and then I can finally go to the last scene again. I can go and come back here. I can do the transition again. I can say something about it, and then I can go for stop recording. So I stopped my recording. So you have seen that I've talked a lot. I have done a lot of things, but what exactly got recorded? This is the output that I'm going to show. This is the final part, and you see this is written program. This is something which is getting recorded, or this is which will get recorded now if I press record. And this is preview. So this is the option that we have before that. Okay. So let's go for file and let's go for show recording, and let's see what exactly got recorded now. Okay, so I'll click on this. Okay, okay, let me see the timestamp. I think we can start with the right video. Okay, this is the timestamp. This is correct, right? Yeah. Okay, so 8:37. Okay, already we are over time, so we're going to finish it very soon. Don't worry. Okay, so let's look into this. Okay, this is which is more interesting, and this can be done using OBS Studio. You really don't need something like Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, you don't need to pay for it. You can do it seamlessly, but then planning is very important. Okay, see what's recorded exactly. Let's see how the transition happens. Okay, so let's see how the transition happens. See, it happened. I'm not showing OBS, but it happened in the recording part. So that only screen is getting recorded. Okay, so this got recorded. Okay, so यहाँ पे मैं अपनी तारीफ करूंगा, skip कर देते हैं. Okay, I did a lot of self promotion today. Acha, okay, so this is there. Okay, we'll have the video uploaded, so don't worry. And let's see what happens to the third transition. See, this happens full screen. You have an animation. You have a person sitting in front. You can do any kind of thing. So it's all about innovations. How much innovative you can be. Everything depends on that. Okay. So this is exactly what I wanted to show you with the OBS Studio. Okay. I think we are already going over time, so I'm not going to continue further. But what I'm going to show you in the final stage is this: you can record your desktop audio. So if you want to have your desktop sound, so something like a YouTube video which you are listening to, that is a desktop audio, part of desktop audio. So you can mute your desktop audio totally, or you can actually have the desktop audio going on. You can have the mic, and then what happens is if you have a secondary mic, as I told you, see, whenever you are having this recording, okay, this by default is your mic, default mic. But if you want to have a secondary mic, as I told you, if I'm using a Droid cam or something, you can always go for an audio input capture device, and you can actually go for okay. And then if you have another mic installed, it will usually show it here. So you have it, Droid cam virtual audio. So you can just click it there, You can click OK. That audio also gets selected. So if anyone speaks on that mic, it can also get recorded. Okay. So this is usually what happens with OBS Studio. Okay. And before we actually end the session, okay, this is also very important. Let me just stop sharing. I hope this is very clear. The softwares can be downloaded very easily, very simple. Okay, I'll go back to the presentation slide, and before actually, since we are already short of time, I have some poll questions. Okay, so let's see this. I like this. Okay, I'll just want to take this. This is important. Okay, so I hope you can answer this. Okay, by the time we finish it off. Okay. Okay, so we'll finish it off, and by that time you can probably answer this. Okay, and let me just look into the chat if someone has asked anything. It can also used in smartphone. Well, for Android version, I did not find it. Okay, but if you have it, I think we can use it. But as far as the website is concerned, there is no such version for Android phone. Okay, so we really cannot use it in a smartphone. Okay, so Polly was not able to connect at the beginning. Yeah, I can understand. We are all restricted by technology. Okay, so I was not audible, but I think that was your network issue probably. Okay, but don't worry, we are going to have a recording there. We do have some handouts where I've talked about the top plan and the content-driven video. That is the video that I've already shared. Okay, so this is there. Okay, and do provide the feedback that actually motivates us to organize better events. Some of you might know me personally, some of you don't know me at all. So I know that I was very fast, but I wanted to cover a lot of things. Few days back, I had one more presentation on OBS, and it was a 2-day session. One day it was 1.5 hours, the second day it was almost 2 hours. So we had a 3.5 hour session. I tried to compress as much as possible. Okay, so I'm sure that it becomes a bit difficult, but let me tell you something very simple. Everything will become perfect more and more with practice. So practice is very important. Okay, I have given my email in the presentation, so you can definitely email me, okay, and then I can always help you out. Okay, we have 32 students here, and of course, some of my teachers. I'm very happy. Some of my friends are also here. And then let me tell you, we do have a certificate option. We'll actually forward the certificate to you to your individual email IDs, and that's all. So you can definitely ask me questions if you have any. Okay. Uh, Yes, Ananya ma'am is asking, would you recommend this for basic video editing? Ma'am, what happens is if we actually plan our lectures, we actually don't need to edit anything. Something extra that I wanted to show you is a text, okay, how to use text or a rolling text. Maybe I can show it to you very fast, okay. So can we do that? Okay, let me just show it to you, okay. Anyway, I'll just share the screen once again, and by the time you finish the feedback, probably I can share it once again and then just show you how to use text, because for us teachers using text is very important, and if we plan it properly we actually don't need to do any kind of editing. Okay, we can directly do it on the OBS itself. So that has to be planned. I think many of us know about script, so we can actually use scripts and so on. So can we use text? Okay, let me use a text here. So I'll take a plus here, and then you have a text option, so text. Okay, and then we can say I will do a rolling text or scrolling text or whatever. Okay, चलो इंग्लिश पे ध्यान नहीं देते अभी. So to scrolling text, I'll put a text. Okay, so so my channel, suppose I want to promote, and then I want to say so like, share, subscribe. Okay, I'm into that mode nowadays. Very sorry for that. Okay, I'll take that, and then let's say like, share, sorry, share and subscribe. Okay, so I have put this. Now see, this is there. Okay, this became too large, so I can obviously reduce it. Okay, so I can do it manually. I can set it as far as my life. Okay, so it's my, okay, got to do ulta. Yeah, कर देते हैं because we are short of time, so I'm just trying to do it fast. Okay, anyway, so I have it. So see, this is very dull. Okay, this is very dull. ये क्या है? Boring. सब बोलेंगे कुछ मजा नहीं आ रहा है. So it's like, it's all about attracting. Okay, I know it's not something which teachers should think about. It's all about knowledge, but nowadays how you promote your knowledge, how you're giving your knowledge is very important. So I can take a different font altogether. I can select the size here. Okay, you can see this. I can select the size. I did it manually, but let me take it 24. So maybe I can use this, and I can put okay. So this became too small, so I can increase the size. I can put it here. Okay, now this is again boring. It's not rolling, nothing is happening. So can I do some changes here? Yes, I can. So I'll go for rolling text. I'll go for filters, and then very apt to text, we have the scroll option. So if you put scroll, you see this is not moving. So I can do a horizontal scrolling. So I can have a horizontal scrolling here, or I can have a vertical scrolling. But vertical scrolling is not suggested. Looks very novice. Okay, we're not going to do that. So we're just going to keep it at 0, and then we are going to have a horizontal scrolling. You can of course control the speed. So if it's a long text, better to have it shorter speed. I think it's okay. And just close it down. Okay, so this is what is happening now. So you see this looks very nice. You can place it anywhere on your screen. You can put it on top, at the bottom, somewhere in the middle. When you are actually, you can only have a scene only with the text, only with the scrolling text. That is also possible, and you can put it there exactly at that particular moment. Okay, so I think this is also something which is important, which I did not mention. I did not refer to this. I think this is very important. I prefer doing this. And stop sharing now. Okay, so yeah, it's almost getting dinner time. This is the first time I'm giving a lecture so late. Can't see the screen. Okay, I think this was visible something. Okay. Okay, so is there some option to clear the audio? Yes, definitely it's there. As I told, you can actually look into the video again. I have shown you the audio property. In the audio property, you can actually clear the audio. Okay, that is definitely there. Okay, so the thing is, what I suggest is we can actually always go for doing a bit of playing around with the software. Okay, so I have to do this. Okay. Okay, so can we read the feedbacks together? Okay, Ananya ma'am, great, thank you ma'am. Counseling sessions, yes, definitely, Maharaj, we can have that. Okay, I've joined late, so can I get the recording? Definitely, we are recording it. Okay, I hope if there is no technical glitch, it will be uploaded soon. I also have a different session altogether, which is actually much longer, 3.5 hours. I'll upload that on my YouTube channel, and I'll share it with you. I have your email IDs. Okay, I'll probably just mail it to you. Don't worry, I'm not going to do any kind of advertisement on your mail. More on video editing and resolution to be sent, less file size. Yes, so less file size. So what happens usually is when you are recording any presentation without any video content, for example, you're not recording yourself, you're just recording the screen, the file size is very low. For example, if you're recording a PPT for let's say about 1 hour, your file size is definitely going to be below 100 MB. 100 MB, even it can be 50 or 60 MB depending on what kind of quality you're using. There is a software which is actually called VSDC. You can use that software to actually edit. Okay, you can always mail me with the name of the software, and I can always guide you with that. Okay, this is simple. Yeah, so editing part. So it is simple actually, editing, no doubt. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ria. So I hope you got something from there. I actually hope that everyone actually uses it, and probably by the end of next month, all of us has a YouTube channel. I already have less subscribers, but YouTube channel already है. Okay, आप लोग हंस रहे होंगे मेरी बातें सुन के, but anyway, can we get the presentation of this session on my email ID? Definitely, I'll send it to you. Don't worry about it. Okay, with the certificate, we'll try to send the presentation also. Can you show me related to audio how to use Audacity? Yes, I know Audacity also I do use. It's a very good audio editing tool. But since we are short of time, probably we cannot do it now. For presentation, I'll definitely share. Okay. Yes. So I hope you would be able to use it. Okay, all of you. So I'm very happy at least you got. मेरे को कोई negative comment मिला नहीं. तो मतलब अच्छा skill था. Okay. So, Darifia ma'am, she says it's good session for India. No ma'am, you know it, I guess. But the thing is, we have to just practice. So let me just tell you, this session might not help much. It will give you a bit of confidence that you can actually use it. Okay, but then you can try it out in different ways so that you can use it in a better, innovative way. Maybe I have not covered all the topics, but definitely you can use it. Okay, is there any option to remove background sound which is unwanted? Yes, you can actually do that, but in this particular software it is not possible, because what happens is you have to plan it out. You have to be very in a sound environment. You might have heard to some background noise because I'm in my home. Okay, so there are phone calls coming up, and then there's a dog barking. I live in a very noisy society, so there are people talking around, so it might not be a very good idea to record anything in a noisy environment. But what I suggest is you can definitely remove the noise using Audacity. You can also use a software which is called VSDC. VSDC is a noise reduction, not, it's actually a video editing software. It has got a very good audio editing option also. Okay, but definitely if you want to have a session on Audacity or VSDC, we totally need to arrange a different webinar altogether. So this is the first one. Okay, is there any option to remove webcam background without green screen? No, that is not possible. Even if you use something like Adobe Premiere Pro, that also doesn't come out perfect. It takes a lot of time, because what happens is usually you keep on moving. So if you remove a part of your background, even in Adobe Premiere Pro, as you move, that part again becomes visible, the part where you have moved. So then it becomes difficult to do the editing. So green screen is a good idea. But what I will suggest is, for now, you can use probably a curtain, okay, a single color curtain or a single color sari or something like that, okay, a bigger cloth behind you, and use it. You can use any color. Red is okay, black is okay. The thing is, you should not wear that color. Otherwise, आपने white पहना हो and your background is white and you're removing white, then आप भी गायब हो जाते हो, right? आपका चेहरा दिखेगा and you'll be like a ghostly feeling, ठीक है? Just like those Aaj Tak blooper news that happens. You might have seen that video where a reporter is standing in front of a flooded area, and it totally seemed like an editing part. So we are not supposed to do that, okay? So you should not wear the same color as your background. You can use any color. Green is actually suggested. Green and blue are most preferable because they stand out the most, okay? So the primary colors are more or less important, okay? So I will upload the link of the recording also, okay? So for today's session, we actually don't have any host, okay? I am the host, and I am the person who's presenting, okay? So I'd like to thank again Ramakrishna Mission actually for giving me this opportunity. Hopefully I'd like able to come up with many more technical things. I'm sure many of us are not really interested in typical physics, but how to use our knowledge in giving out in a better way to our students. Okay? That's very important. So with this, we'll end the session, and thank you very much. Okay, I hope you actually got what this session was intended for. So we have recorded the session, so I'll just go for stop recording. Okay, and